Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we are going to do a first look review of Mint. Mint is the personal budgeting and expense tracking software that Intuit has. It is free. I don't think that there are multiple levels where you get more if you pay. I think it's always free. My name is Brad. I'm with Wooten CPA, and my goal is to bring peace to your tax and financial responsibilities. One of the ways I do that is through these videos here on YouTube. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so that you're notified when new videos come out. I appreciate you watching. I've heard about this one a lot. I've told people that I think that it will budget, and I'm going to scratch that term budget and say conscious spending plan. This is something that I'm intentionally starting to refer to budgets as. Budgets imply a limitation on spending in people's minds, but a conscious spending plan is just that. It's you spending money, which you have to do. You can't stop all spending, but you're doing it consciously. Most people do it unintentionally, unconsciously. I don't think unconscious is actually the word. I think subconscious is right, but I'm no English major. I preferred math in school, but you're doing it intentionally or consciously. You're going to plan your spending. You're going to pay attention to your spending. Most people are just out there spending, hoping that they spend less than they make, knowing that they're overspending, but they are having a hard time getting it under control. Anyway, quick sidebar on why we're going to refer to this as a conscious spending plan from now on instead of budgeting. Mint is their software. I've never used Mint before. I just set this account up. I did a YNAB first pass review video as well. You can jump over to that video and look at it. So let's jump into Mint. Like I said, I connected it already, and I imported some transactions from 2 accounts that I have connected. So I won't be able to walk you through that part like I did in the YNAB video. And I didn't really play around in it. I really only spent about a minute and a half probably poking around. So this really is going to be a first pass look at mint.com. Let's jump in. All right, so when I logged in, it brought me to this overview tab. We're Intuit. This is an Intuit product. Intuit owns a lot of stuff. I mean, they're getting to be possibly as big as like Amazon or Walmart, where they are just buying up things like crazy. They also, of course, own TurboTax, which most people have heard of. So when I log in, it's giving me some notifications, save money on auto insurance. So already I have an ad here for something that they are trying to sell me. Now, I will say that that is probably because this is a free software. Like I said, I did the YNAB review already. I never saw a single ad. Now, I set YNAB up for free. They have a free 34-day trial. But here, this is completely free. YNAB is paid, so I didn't see any ads when I was playing around in it. Already, I've seen an ad here. Got some help, some menu bar across the top. I've got my accounts. It's telling me my net worth is $5,860. I would assume that that is my checking account of $6,183 minus my credit cards, because those are the only 2 accounts I have in here. So that is your net worth. Your assets minus your liabilities would be your net worth. I've got some categories for investments and loans and property. I didn't add any of that, but I could add a house or a car for property, real estate. Continue, street address, apartment number, enter, find. Primary residence, let's say it's worth $250,000. Add it. Go to overview. So my net worth didn't change, which is interesting. My property also didn't show up. Let's refresh. So my primary residence is now showing up as $250,000. My net worth still didn't jump. That's kind of interesting. My house would be included in my net worth. I don't know why that didn't change. Let's click refresh on it too. Still didn't change. Okay. That's all right. Suggested the right checking account is waiting for you. So right in the middle of the screen, I mean, the biggest thing, no thanks. Another ad. Now it's gone. I got goals here. I got September bills. I got my accounts, my credit cards, investments, loans, property, trends. So I did notice when I connected my accounts, it import. Oh, wait, what's that? That's another ad. Show me life insurance. Exit out. Okay. So it's going to show all these transactions that it imported, I don't know how far back it went, but it imported from a long time ago, it looks like. Checking and savings, checking, credit card, credit card, credit card. All right. It's really trying to sell me some life insurance, but again, free software is gonna give you ads. Now we got a lot of transactions that came in. So I'll notice that when I did the YNAB, it didn't import a whole bunch of past transactions. It was letting me start fresh from right there. Mint is importing a lot of things. It's already categorized these things. Netflix, television, that's right. That's groceries. That's gas and fuel. My wife ordered something here. I can't remember if that was clothing or not. Coffee shops, okay. Shopping. So it's categorized these. Now, these might not be, it did this. I did not categorize these. Looks like I can change these. So if I need to, I could change any of these that I wanted to. Now, I'm not categorizing them correctly. I'm just showing you that they can be changed. I didn't set up any of these categories. These were already in here. Looks like I can manage my categories. I can add subcategories. There's already some subcategories. There's a lot of categories in here. A whole lot. YNAB started with a lot less categories. This could be a little overwhelming for you, but you could always go in here. You can add. It doesn't look like you can delete. I would really want to delete some of these. I'm all for your budget being as detailed as you want it to be, but also as simplified as you want it to be. So I usually tell people only go to the level of detail that you will actually track. If you go this detailed and it overwhelms you, you will stop using your conscious spending plan and then it won't help you at all. So if this is too detailed for you, you need to scale it back to something you will actually use, because using it is where you're going to get the benefit. There's got to be a way, I would hope, to delete some of these to help clear it out, because otherwise, when you're trying to categorize, there's that life insurance. You exit out and it pops back up every time you come back. I wonder if you can search. So if I start typing in, it's going to show me everything there. So you can kind of search instead of scrolling through. But if you scroll through, my goodness, there's a lot of stuff here and a lot of stuff you wouldn't necessarily need or want. So it's going to show you can connect your credit score. You've got bills. It's pulling some information in from what it imported. It's letting me set up other bills. I don't know about that. I wouldn't use that. This says I have $564 left and $205 spent in gas and fuel. I never set up a budget, so I don't know where it got these amounts from. 0 of $30. I did not set up a budget, so I don't know where that's coming from. I have no income. I have spending. I have no goals. I have negative $2,200 left over. So why it's saying I have negative $2,200 and I spent 523 of 2,200, I don't know. I have $6,183 minus 500. Oh, my net worth updated. Look at that. It just took it a minute. So it is at 255 now, which includes the house we put in here at 250,000 and my checking account and my credit card. So I have $6,183. And we saw also in the YNAB video that, you either have that minus the 576 if you're going to pay the credit card off in full, which is definitely what I recommend. I recommend that you only budget what you have, that you use your credit cards like a debit card mentally, where if you spend it on the credit card, you only spend it if you have the money for it in your conscious spending plan already assigned for that. You do not use a credit card to spend money that you don't have. So in that case, I would have the 6183 minus 576. That would be the amount of money that I have available to go into my envelopes. So if you watch any of my personal finance budgeting videos, you know that I only recommend the virtual envelope system for your conscious spending plan or your budgeting. And what that means is you have envelopes. That's what these are. Your spending categories are your envelopes. You need to put money into it before you can spend money out of it. So if you have an envelope for going out to the movies and there's no money in it, you should not spend money out of it because there's no money in there. But if you put $50 in the envelope, you spend $25 to go to the movies, you have $25 left after. So that's the only kind of budgeting or conscious spending plan that I recommend. So I should have that, what's that, 6183 minus 576. I should have $5,600 available to put into envelopes. And I don't know what this all adds up. Look, there's other spending down here. It'll take me to those transactions. So this is other spending that's not in one of these categories. Let's add a budget. Auto insurance every month, $50, save. So now that showed up here and my leftover amount went down to a larger negative number. I gotta tell you, this is confusing me significantly. We're in September. Every time I add something or increase my budget, my negative amount goes down, probably because I need to budget some income every month. $2,500. Let's try that, see what happens. Oh, okay, now we have income of $2,500. None of it has come in. We have spent $2,270, except we haven't actually spent $2,270, even though it says spending here. We've budgeted or allocated that amount. So if I add this up to 970, oh, it won't let me type a number in here. It'll only let me use these things. Add a budget for entertainment, 0 of 30. Let's see what happens if I try to add entertainment. Every month, $100. Save. So I don't know why it started with these amounts and why it won't let me type in the amount right here, why it only lets me increase by $10 at a time. Edit. Oh, there we go. 31, save. Ah, so if I hit this edit button, I can type it in. If I make that 200, save. All right, now my left. So I have budgeted $2,500 of income. None of it has come in yet. I have budgeted spending of $2,500. So none is left over. So this part is giving you your conscious spending plan, your virtual envelope system, what's coming in and what you have allocated. Now it's going to show me I've overspent some. I've got some money left in others. I don't know what would happen if I went to next month. It's not going to let me click ahead to see what would happen. But I did notice start each new month with the previous month's leftover amount. So that you would want to go through and check that on every single one of these, because the virtual envelope system, again, you're putting money into an envelope, and unless you take that money out, it should stay in that envelope forever. So if you put $250 in a groceries envelope and you spend $200 this month, there's $50 left in there. If I don't check that box, it's not going to carry that over to next month. Then you're back to kind of the old pointless static budget, not a virtual envelope system. But if I click that button, then presumably I had 250, I spent 200, there's 50 left. It will carry that over as my starting balance next month. Now there should be a way. This one doesn't let you do it. The only way to move money around, like let's say I need to cover this overspending. I've spent 124 of 100. So what I could do, I need another $24. I'm $24 over. Actually, I'm $23.64 over. Rounds up there. So I need to take $23.64 out of here. I would need a calculator for that. 790 minus 23.64 is 766.36. So if I, oh, it won't let me do decimals. But if I add that if I subtract that there, now I have 24 left over to add here. Okay. So now I've done that, but I couldn't get the cents. The cents are going to get lost. But I moved money between categories to cover it. Goals, I can set up a bunch of different goals. Want to buy a car. How much do you want to save? I want to save $3,000 by January. I want to use that account. How much can you save a month? Well, obviously I need to save 750 if I want to get there, but let's say I can only save 50. It tells me I'm going to be able to do that by September. Okay. So here's my goal in action. Did it add a place for me to budget that in my budget? I don't see it. This is just spending. I would need a category though to be able to reach this goal somehow. I don't know where that goal shows up anywhere other than here and how to actually put money into it. We've got some trends. September from all my accounts this month. Add a category by category. Let's look at that. All right, so auto and transportation. So this will help you see what you spent money on. I can connect some investments. Marketplace is stuff they're trying to sell me. All settings, financial, billers, property, hide accounts. All right. So I'm going to stop here. This is my first pass of Mint. To be fair, I have used YNAB. I got a video on that as well as best of a first pass I can do. I've been using YNAB for over 10 years. And I got to say, first pass of this, it's clunky. In these few minutes, I could not figure out how to budget in the way that I recommend. The only way I recommend to do your conscious spending plan or your budgeting is with a virtual envelope system or an actual real cash and envelope system. But most people, virtual envelope system. Yes, I can connect my accounts. I can import my categories. I can import my transactions. I can categorize them pretty easily. It's gonna automatically categorize them, and then I'm gonna have to go back through and make sure that they're correct. It imported a ton of data that I have no clue. I mean, there's no way I'm going back through pages and pages of transactions to make sure these categories are right. So I liked YNAB where it gave me a fresh start. It didn't import everything back to who knows when. The menu, way less options, no advertising. This one doesn't even really work for an envelope-based system, in my opinion. It almost seems like they're trying to do an envelope-based system, but they just don't quite understand it. I personally would be able to do this much easier just in an Excel worksheet. So Mint, I think I'm going to give it a 2.5. Let's go with the 2.5. It'll track spending. It'll help you be more aware of where your money is going. It helps you set goals, but I don't know how great it's going to be at actually tracking it. It does help you create kind of conscious spending here where you're paying attention to how much you wanted to spend minus how much you have spent. They look like it might carry it over. It's not easy to move money between envelopes, though. You can't see if they total up correctly. This piece doesn't seem to be working quite the way I would want it to for a virtual envelope system. So at the end of the day, 2.5, if you're using Mint, I think you're probably better off than if you're not doing anything. But I would not be able to recommend this based on this experience of setting this up and working through here a little bit. I couldn't do it. I would have to recommend you either do an actual envelope system with cash, or you do an Excel system, or you do YNAB. So jump over to that YNAB video. I'm also going to have a pro tips on YNAB too. Again, YNAB is the only one currently that I recommend in terms of budget software. And so jump over, take a look at that video. Again, you do have to pay for YNAB. If you pay for it annually, it's $99. Mint was free, but there's a reason for that. you get what you pay for here. And all I see is a bunch of advertisements where they're trying to sell me stuff. They're probably going to try to tell me at tax time that I should use TurboTax and cross sell me that too. $99 for a simple, exactly what you need software in YNAB. I do not get any kind of affiliation with YNAB. I just use it personally. I recommend it. And it is well worth the $99 you're going to spend, because you're going to save way more than that and be way better off if you start to use that in the way that you should by using a conscious spending plan. So yeah, at the end of the day, I am not going to recommend Mint. I am going to give it a 2.5 because it does help you a little bit if you're doing nothing right now. This could be a good first step, but really, I actually don't even like it as a first step, because it's going to confuse you more, and you're not going to be able to jump easily from this to the virtual envelope system if you've already got your mind wrapped around this. It's going to create some pathways in your brain that we're going to have to overcome when you start to do it correctly. So I would just get out of Mint, avoid Mint, jump over to YNAB. There may be some other programs. If you know other programs that do virtual envelope systems, please send them to me. I'll do a review on those as well. But for right now, I am sticking to YNAB being the only budget software that I recommend. Thanks for watching.